Calvin Johnson didn't care.
Can you still play? I mean, all the fans want to see it.
I don't want to play.
The report is this morning that Calvin Johnson, one of the great wide receiver talents in the history of the National Football League, is going to retire.
He had it all: speed, size, hands, and the name.
Megatron! Megatron! Now Megatron is Megatron.
Hey, have you seen Calvin anywhere?
No.
He's the ultimate receiver role model.
And then, just like that, he walked away.
Our buddy Schefter said he had
said
plans to retire.
No farewell tour, no dramatic press conference. At 30 years old, he was done.
It's interesting that Calvin Johnson, with a lot of legs and a lot of plays left, is going to retire. And Barry Sanders, in his prime, with a lot of years left, retired, both from Detroit.
Did you have any conversations with Calvin about this decision at all?
Oh, no, hey, don't blame it on me. Don't blame it on me. Come on now.
So it got me wondering, how could one of the greatest wide receivers the game had ever seen just stop? Did he quit, or was it something else?
Born down there in Noonan, raised in College Park, Tyrone, Georgia, down there on the south side, man. Just grandfather, Baptist preacher. You know, my mom is now a minister, but, you know, you would have thought she was a minister back in the day, the way she treated everybody in the household, you know. So.
Calvin Johnson Jr. was born on September 29, 1985. Johnson grew up in a strict but supportive household. His parents emphasized education and character over sports.
My dad, you know, just Mr. Consistent. You know, he worked for the railroad for 30 plus years. Day in, day out, he on call. My mom was a huge disciplinarian. If you don't get, you know, A's and B's, you know, C's weren't allowed. C's almost like getting an F.
So, despite being a generational talent, Johnson never saw football as his only path. He played because he loved it, not because he needed the attention or the validation. At Sandy Creek High School in Tyrone, Georgia, Johnson was a multi-sport athlete.
You know, baseball was my true first love. Yeah, I got drafted out of high school for baseball. You know, it was really, at the end of the day, the team sport that what football was, that it took everybody to do their job in order for us to have success. And when we were able to do that, the feeling from that was just like, I mean, that's like the ultimate feeling. It's better than baseball. I think that's why it took over, you know, just my love of sport.
At 6'4" with elite speed, he made defenses look helpless. With 34 catches for 646 yards and 10 touchdowns as a sophomore, he started to prove that he was something special. In his junior season, he had 736 yards and 8 touchdowns on 40 catches. And college football programs started to take notice of this one-of-a-kind physical specimen. After putting up 960 yards and 11 touchdowns in his last year at Sandy Creek, college scouts across the country were drooling every time they saw Johnson in person or watched video of him. Yet, even as the top college programs came calling, he never acted like the superstar he was becoming. Now, most 5-star wide receivers want to go somewhere flashy, somewhere that they will put up video game numbers. But not Calvin Johnson. He chose Georgia Tech, a school that wasn't exactly known for airing it out. Why?
At the end of the day, I think it just boiled down for me. You know, I was just thinking about education. I'm like, dang, if I go to Georgia Tech and I graduate from Tech, I'm good. I got a job, I'm coming out here with a good job, and I can go work wherever I want to work if football doesn't work out.
See, Calvin, he wanted to attend a school where he would have the best chance at post-graduation success. But from day one, he was a force of nature. In his second collegiate game, playing Clemson at Death Valley, Johnson erupted for 100-plus yards and 3 touchdowns, including the game winner in the closing seconds. He would go on to win ACC Rookie of the Year and first-team freshman All-American. His sophomore year, even better.
You talk about the playmaker, and Calvin Johnson went behind himself.
And by his junior year, he was unstoppable. He won countless awards as the nation's top receiver. Despite playing in a run-heavy system that limited his targets, Johnson put up ridiculous numbers.
Now, his teammates have given him a nickname, Neo. Neo, in the movie The Matrix, was one who was supposed to lead the humans to freedom over the machine.
See, although Calvin had a strong desire to finish his education and earn his degree, he chose to skip his senior season and declare for the 2007 NFL Draft. Because, everyone knew he was going to be special. The only question was, where would he land? So I've got a question. If you were seriously injured, do you know what your case could be worth? It could be millions. But dealing with traditional law firms? Yeah, that's a whole different kind of headache. Paperwork, endless phone calls, waiting weeks just for an update? It's frustrating and time-consuming. And worse, many firms settle for lowball offers instead of fighting for what you truly deserve. That's where Morgan & Morgan come in. They're America's largest injury law firm with over 1,000 attorneys nationwide. And unlike other firms, they're built for the people, meaning they fight to get you the best possible results if you become their client. Just recently, they won $12 million in Florida, 34 times the highest insurance offer, and in Philly, $26 million, 40 times the initial offer. And the best part? You pay absolutely nothing unless you win. That's right, no upfront fees, no hidden costs, nothing. And starting your claim? It's really easy. You can click the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen. You can submit everything in minutes, right on your phone. So if you've been seriously injured, your case could be worth millions. So don't wait, because your life could change in just a few clicks. You can start your claim today with Morgan & Morgan at www.forthepeople.com/ASC or scan the QR code now.
Speaking of receivers, if it was just a grade, Mel Kiper, would you have Calvin Johnson, Georgia Tech, #1?
Definitively, boom, #1. Calvin Johnson, the consensus overall #1 pick in this draft. On teams' boards, look at that size, 6'5", 240 pounds, at 4'3", 540, turns some heads, and at 42 vertical.
He should be a uncoverable wide receiver.
Heading into the 2007 NFL Draft, the Oakland Raiders had the first pick, and head coach Lane Kiffin badly wanted Johnson. But owner Al Davis overruled him and instead decided to select Jamarcus Russell.
The Oakland Raiders select quarterback Jamarcus Russell, LSU.
So, the Detroit Lions had the second overall pick. And, well, they didn't hesitate.
The Detroit Lions take wide receiver Calvin Johnson, Georgia Tech.
They took Johnson hoping he could turn around a struggling franchise. And by struggling, that's putting it nicely. However, from the moment he arrived in Detroit, he was a human cheat code, ultimately earning the most recognizable nickname in all of sports from teammate Roy Williams.
You talking about Megatron? That's Megatron. He's gonna show up to play today. 81, making his debut. He's gonna have a touchdown or two.
First, I was tripping because I was thinking Megatron was Optimus Prime. I got it all backwards or whatever. Shame on me. When I came to grasp, okay, damn, he's the bad guy. I'm like, oh man. I'm like, okay, that works. I could be the bad guy to the defense all day.
Matthews got it. Looks, throws, wants Calvin. Got him. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Megatron coming through.
He didn't care about expectations. He just went to work. And work, he did.
Wants Calvin. Got him. He's stride. 25, 20. Megatron touchdown, Detroit Lions.
Calvin Johnson was a Hall of Fame talent, and he had the work ethic of an undrafted player.
Stafford, who took a hit, firing for the end zone. That looked like a Hail Mary at the end of the game.
But even as a rookie, injuries would begin to ail him, starting at week 3 versus the Eagles.
We're playing the Eagles, and I had safety in the corner on me. I go up, I'm in the middle of them. I go up, and I literally fall on the small of my back. I hit the ground, and I lay in there, and I'm literally like, I can't feel my legs. So I immediately start to tear up, and I'm like, oh, like, I can't feel anything. And I get off to the side, and they bring the cart over. I literally couldn't run for like a whole week or two.
Despite playing for a team that never quite found its footing, Johnson put up historic numbers. But nothing was like that 2012 season. That season, he broke Jerry Rice's single-season receiving yards record with 1,964 yards, a record held by Rice for over 2 decades. The Lions finished just 4-12, but none of their issues were his fault. For the second straight season, he earned Pro Bowl and All-Pro first-team honors, while getting serious consideration as the Offensive Player of the Year.
81
one, Calvin Johnson ran him 3 yards out of bounds.
And the best part, he never acted like it. No trash talk, no antics, no complaints about being double teamed every game. He just kept playing, kept grinding, and kept proving he was one of the greatest to ever do it.
If I'm creating a player in Madden, he's 6'5", running a 4.3, and his name is Calvin Johnson.
Throws downfield, got a man wide open. Calvin at the 30. Nobody between him and the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions.
We all know he's the best. There's no question about it.
It's caught. Megatron. Got him. Touchdown, Detroit Lions.
Now, Megatron is Megatron.
Calvin Johnson was a defensive end, 6'5", big frame. How he defended that?
20, 25. Calvin still going to the 30. Afterburners engaged. Calvin the 40, 30, 20, 10.
He's the ultimate receiver role model.
But see, here's the thing about playing like that. Your body pays the price. And Johnson's body was paying it every single game. Broken fingers, knee injuries, constant double teams. He took a beating after beating after beating. And by the time he was 30, he was worn down.
You know, broken fingers, ankle sprains. But I think the ankles and knees, you know, the scopes, getting a knee drain before games, all that stuff took tolls.
To cope with the relentless pain, Johnson turned to marijuana. At a time when the NFL pushed opioids and painkillers, he sought a more natural alternative, despite the stigma that came with it.
The ability to wind down was the biggest thing, which in turn, you know, helped with recovery. But definitely a huge proponent of it because I'm from Georgia, the whole Bible Belt, you know, just the negative stigma behind cannabis down there, you know, at the time, or just in general at the time, was it just had such a bad rap.
It wasn't about getting high. It was about relaxing and healing. It helps him manage the toll of the game without the harmful side effects of traditional medication.
I came from an industry where, you know, we got to perform. If you ain't performing, you're out of there. You know, and sometimes the way to perform, you got to take these meds so you get out there and play through the pain that you're going through. Toradol shot, Vicodin, or, you know, after the game or after surgery, oxys or whatnot. And for me, I seen what those things did to family, friends, and I knew how they made my body feel. You know, I felt like when I took those things, my body just felt off.
Since starting, Johnson has become one of the biggest advocates for medical cannabis, pushing for its acceptance as a legitimate treatment for pain and injuries. He's built businesses around it, spoken out against the NFL's outdated drug policies, and worked to shift the conversation around how athletes manage their health. For Johnson, it was never about rebellion. It was about finding a better and more natural way. However, despite masking the pain physically and emotionally from losing season after season, in 2016, he did something few saw coming. He walked away, still in his prime.
Did this surprise you, this news?
No, it didn't surprise me. His body started breaking down the last couple of years, according to several sources close to him. And this is beyond just the usual ankle injuries that he suffered periodically throughout his career.
But for Johnson, it was simple. He had given everything to football. And when his body told him it was time, he listened.
Obviously, his Lions aren't exactly on the verge of winning a Super Bowl. So this brings me to my final point. He was never really driven to play football in the first place.
Despite only playing 9 seasons, Calvin Johnson's impact on the game was undeniable. He finished his career with 731 receptions, 11,619 yards, and 83 touchdowns. A 6-time Pro Bowler, 3-time first-team All-Pro, and an all-time great.
On behalf of everybody who loves this game and the Pro Football Hall of Fame, I want to welcome you to Canton, Ohio, where for the rest of the time, we want to guard your legacy and thank you for all you've done for this great game, for all you're going to do for the game, and for all you've meant to the game.
In 2021, he was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility. And in typical Johnson fashion, he accepted the honor with humility, thanking teammates, coaches, and family without making it about himself. All because, ultimately, he didn't care. He didn't care about the noise. He didn't care about the personal glory. He didn't care about the distractions. He played through injuries to help his team. He gave everything he had to a struggling franchise. He let his play do the talking. And when he felt he had nothing left to give, he walked away on his own terms. See, Calvin Johnson didn't care about the things most superstars do, and that's exactly what made him one of the greatest of all time.